Hello everyone! The reason I decided to show this game is, well, I haven't shown any game that features the Traxler attack yet on my channel. And the second reason is I really like the title of this game. It's called Hills Like White Elephants. And I didn't really understand why a game would be called Hills Like White Elephants, but I did find out, and it's pretty cool. I will tell you why at the end of this video. So the game was played in 1952. It was played in England, and it's played between S. Morrison and T.K. Hemingway. I couldn't really find any information on either of these guys, so if you're able to find any information, do share in the comments, as I also enjoy learning new things. So let's see this game. We have E4 by Morrison and E5 by Mr. Hemingway. Knight to F3, Knight to C6, and Bishop to C4, the Italian game. Knight to F6, and here we have Knight to G5, the Knight attack. And well, this is a famous variation. It's played throughout history. Old masters used to play it with D5, and well, E captures on D5 is the standard line. And well, before people learned that Knight captures on D5 is a bad move, they even played this. So black often got into trouble after something like knight captures on f7, king captures on f7, and queen to f3. And well, the point is, this knight can't help out with the defense because it's pinned. And well, only way to play this for black successfully is to play king to e6. And the engine plays this for black without a problem, but for a human this is, I think this is impossible to play for a human. And you know, I won numerous games online against the weaker players. Sometimes they'll play something like king to g8, and then you can simply checkmate your opponent very easily. But after this knight g5 move, there is also a very sharp line, the sharpest of lines. That is bishop to c5. This is called the Traxler attack. It's named after Karl Traxler. He was a Czech chess master. And well, he was also known as a chess composer. And well, this is extremely sharp. Black is willingly offering this f7 pawn. And well, here a move like bishop captures on f7 isn't really considered that great for white, as after king to f8 this bishop has to move from f7, as after h6 the knight will have to move, and black will simply capture the bishop. So after something like bishop to b3, simply d5. And although white is still better here, this is actually quite enjoyable for black. There are ideas like knight to d4 followed by bishop g4, and well, black does get a lot of initiative for a price of one pawn and somewhat a compromised king safety. So instead of this bishop captures on f7 after bishop to c5. The better move for white here is knight captures on f7, and this is what Morrison plays. He plays knight captures on f7, and this comes with an attack on the queen and also on the rook. And here black plays bishop captures on f2 with check. This is kind of the point of the Traxler attack. And again, the best option for white here is to capture this bishop and then, well, hope for the best. He does have to know this line pretty well to be able to defend. But obviously white wasn't really sure of himself, and he played king to f1. And here we have queen to e7, getting the queen out of the way, and of course offering the rook on h8, but that's the whole point of the Traxler. We have knight captures on h8, and we have d5 now. And this comes with a tempo on the bishop on c4, now allowing this light square bishop on c8 to come into play, with bishop to g4, for example. We have e captures on d5, attacking the knight on c6, and the knight to d4. And well, this is very unpleasant for white, as now bishop to g4 is a tremendous threat. Well, white doesn't really have a good square for the queen. So here white plays c3. This does attack this knight on d4, but also it creates the only square available to the queen, that is this a4 square. So we have bishop to g4 attacking the queen, and now queen to a4 check. Again, not really going for the check, but this a4 square is the only available square for the queen. Bishop to d7, going back with the bishop with a tempo on the queen, not allowing him to capture. C captures on d4. We have queen to b4, offering the exchange of queens and also attacking the b7 pawn. And here black plays queen captures on b4. We have c captures on b4, and now bishop to h4. as this bishop was under attack here on f2. And here black is threatening knight to c2, and this would win the rook on a1. So white prevents this, he plays knight to c3. Now if knight to c2, white has this rook to b1 move, and we have king to e7. And this is a very nice move. It prepares rook to f8, to getting the rook into play as the white king is on f1. We have g3 attacking this bishop here on h4, and now first black plays bishop to h3 with check. The king doesn't really want to go forward to f2, and he definitely doesn't want to go to e1, as knight to c2 would fork the king and the rook, so he plays king to g1. And here black is completely winning. He plays knight to g4. And with this knight to g4 move, black is actually threatening a forced checkmate in 7 moves. So how do you stop this? Well, the obvious threat is knight to f3 checkmate. You can't capture the bishop on h4, you get knight to f3, and this is checkmate. So after knight to g4, white decided to prevent this. He plays bishop to e2. This defends the f3 square. Black captures the bishop, knight captures on e2, knight captures on e2, and now black plays rook to f8. And this comes with a very nice threat of rook to f1 with checkmate. And there really isn't a good way to stop this for white, so white tries to prevent it, and you know, he tries something. He plays knight to f4, but here black simply captures the knight with rook, not with the pawn. Rook captures on f4, and in this position Mr. Morrison resigned the game, as g captures on f4 is followed by bishop to f2 with checkmate. So yeah, but after this rook to f4, like I said, Mr. Morrison resigned the game, and this is why I really enjoyed the title of this game, Hills Like White Elephants, as Hills Like White Elephants is a story by Ernest Hemingway. And as the story goes, this guy, he meets a girl at a train station, and they're waiting for a train, I think to Spain or something. And well, he orders 2 beers, and he starts a conversation with the girl. And throughout the conversation, the girl mentions that the hills surrounding the train station remind her of white elephants that don't move. And well, as the story goes on, but this really has some similarity, as these 2 rooks, rook on a1 and rook on h1, kind of represent mountains, and but in fact they are the 2 elephants that never moved. So this is what I got from the title of the game. Maybe you have something better. If you do, I also would be interested in hearing it in the comment section. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it, especially the title of the game, and I hope you enjoyed the Traxler attack if you've never seen it before. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon.